Right now, if you're drafting for your first year of Dynasty Fantasy Football, who do you commit to for years and years and years to come, especially if you're on the clock at 101? That's a question some of you are facing. We're going to go 5-1 here, 5 no-brainers to pick in Dynasty Fantasy Football in descending order. We begin with Josh Allen. Quarterback 1, quarterback 1, quarterback 2, quarterback 1, quarterback 2. I just read you where Josh Allen has ranked among all quarterbacks in the standard PPR format dating back to 2020. He is 5 for 5 in being a top 2 quarterback. He has claimed the top spot 3 of those 5 times. The rushing upside, the rushing touchdowns, and the throwing volume have all made him the most reliable quarterback option in fantasy football. Then he lost Stephon Diggs, lost Gabe Davis, had one of the most inexperienced wide receiver rooms in all of the NFL heading into this season, and he still balled out and was quarterback 2. So you can't even go with the overused cop-out argument that a QB is succeeding due to the talent around him. This guy literally had no help, had the rushing upside, and it paid dividends for his fantasy owners. On the right side of 30 as well, plenty of years to go, and we've literally seen the bare bones scenario where he doesn't have much around him, and he still did remarkable. Jahmyr Gibbs rolls in at number 4. Don't love running backs because they don't have the biggest shelf life, but he's only been in the league for a couple of years. Jahmyr is one of the fastest human beings in the NFL right now. I think one guy who would beat him is actually his teammate in Jameson Williams. Faster, but not as consistent. That's why he's not on this list. His football speed looks almost unparalleled at times. That's the point I'm trying to make here. 5.5 yards per carry over the last 2 years. 1,400 yards on the ground alone this season. They were in that 2-platoon system between him and David Montgomery. Great pass catcher as well, and he's behind one of the best offensive lines in the entire league. So we did a past video on Dynasty Fantasy Football good practices, and looking at environment was one of those components. Jahmyr Gibbs being on a football team that prioritizes building those trenches and those protectors up is extremely advantageous for his fantasy ownership going forward, so just something to keep in mind there as well. From one running back to another, I know this is kind of weird, but we're going to do it. Bijan Robinson is our next option here. Heading into year 3 of his career, Bijan broke out with almost 1,900 yards this season, despite being on an offense that looked lackluster at times. The Kirk Cousins experiment did not go very well in Atlanta. Over 3,300 all-purpose yards through a couple of seasons. Remarkable pass catcher, so he's versatile, can truly do it all. It truly just needs to be surrounded by competent talent. I was hoping the Kirk Cousins experiment would work, turn this team into more of a winning football program so they could get in run-heavy scenarios down the stretch. It did not work, but he's only 23, high volume as they come. It's a layup for me. 4th in the league last year in touches on the ground. Volume is huge, especially considering that hopefully there's brighter days ahead, but we've seen even when the Falcons don't look very competent and aren't a winning football program for the majority of the year, he's still getting his, which is an awesome sign. Rolling in at number 2, Ceedee Lamb. Some might argue this is number 1, and I might be tipping my hand on who's in front of him. One of the best receivers in the game, in the heart of his prime, on one of the highest passing volume offenses out there. I think that makes Ceedee an obvious choice, and it's one of the reasons I wouldn't be mad if you were taking him at 101. Even without Dak Prescott for the majority of this past season, this team, the Cowboys, threw the ball 61% of the time. That's the 6th highest rate in the NFL, meaning Ceedee gets more opportunities. And as of right now, there just isn't a whole lot of other options around Lamb. Sure, you've got Jake Ferguson, very respectable tight end, actually. Some backs who can go out in the flat. I think that backfield is going to look different this year, whether it be through the draft or something else. But the gap between Ceedee Lamb and the rest of this wide receiver room is quite large. He's the obvious decision. It's a pass-heavy offense, and Dak should be back next year. Very confident in Ceedee Lamb's abilities over a long-term period. Number 1 is Justin Jefferson. Best receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. Quarterback situation is up in flux, so that's something to consider. Greater than 1,400 yards in 4 of his first 5 seasons. He almost missed half of the year in the one season he didn't get 1,400 yards, but even in that very abbreviated stint, he still eclipsed 1,000 yards. So he is absolutely automatic. He's a top 4 receiver in 3 of the last 4 seasons in fantasy. Truly a model of consistency. And here's the thing, right? People are worried, okay, is it going to be J.J. McCarthy? Is it going to be 2025, 26 version of Aaron Rodgers, who hasn't looked great but is still a competent quarterback? Sam Darnold didn't really have any good tape over a long period of time going into his year with the Vikings. He got plugged into the Kevin O'Connell offense. That's somebody I have a lot of respect for. And one way or another, Justin Jefferson ended up getting his, and the offense looked remarkable. I truly think that Jefferson is somebody who's going to elevate whoever is under center. As long as Kevin O'Connell's calling plays, I think he's in good hands. Talent-wise, he just passes the eye test. He's the perfect age right now. You can hold on to him for 5 to 7 years and be just fine, really, regardless of what's going on. And we've talked game environment a couple of times in this video. Even if the Vikings are down in a game, that's actually fine because they're going to go throw heavy, so long as the offense is competent. And his second fiddle does a great job of just taking attention away from Justin Jefferson. The Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison 1-2 punch, arguably one of the most lethal in the entire league. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. If you have any video suggestions, you can drop those in the comment section below, and we will see you in the next one.